Prometheus Rising. I'm going to get into, begin recording the audio book version of it, and we will begin writing simultaneously the iteration 2. And if you have the electronic version of Go Free, if you don't have that already, you perhaps should acquire it. I have the cost very low, because I am told by everyone so far that you will be able to acquire second edition iteration 2 at no additional cost. You just download the new version. But if you want to get a second edition iteration 2 hard copy, then you'd have to buy it all over again. This is page 78, The World Beyond, When You Go Free, Who and What You Are. A lot of people don't know what they are. A lot of people are still calling themselves by these names and these titles that the anti-whites have given them, that these misleaders and misrulers in the white positive sphere have given them. Don't call yourselves by those names. When you begin going free, you become white positive. You become an advocate for white well-being, or more simply, a well-being advocate. I've used this a great many times. Use it yourself. You say, I consider myself a well-being advocate. So really, what's that? I'll read here in just a moment. Your speech is white positive speech. Your actions are white positive actions. You are concerned with your own, your family's, and your friends' health and welfare. And you know that these things are only achievable in any lasting and meaningful way by way of our people's health and welfare. The anti-whites will object to your service to well-being by saying that, quote, we should care about everyone's well-being. You agree. We should. There are thousands of groups and with wealth beyond comprehension that are serving Jewish well-being. There are thousands of groups serving Black well-being, thousands serving Hispanic well-being and Asian well-being and Arab well-being. And you are doing the same thing for white well-being. That is your answer to the person who says, well, what is a well-being advocate? What does that mean? That is your response. The anti-white should celebrate and endorse your advocacy of white well-being as much as he celebrates and endorses the well-being of non-white groups, but he won't, which reveals his pretext about caring for all peoples for what it actually is, an attempt to get you to surrender your service to white well-being so that he and others can continue victimizing us. Penniless whites are as penniless non-whites. Whites suffering from disease suffer just as much as diseased non-whites. Whites who cannot find employment are just as unemployed non-whites. And such white people are found in every county, city, state, and country across the West. In fact, it is far worse for Westmen. The laws of our countries make us the only group that can be legally discriminated against in every area of life. The anti-white narrative, which establishes the morality of the West, defines discrimination as commendable when it advocates, enriches, and empowers non-white people at our expense. Does the anti-white object to you improving yourself by going free of anti-white ideas and behaviors that undermine your life? Does he object to you working to put an end to laws, rules, codes, and moral frameworks that unfairly inflict harm on innocent Westmen? Does he object to you protecting white children from the cruelest child abuse the world has ever known, a child abuse that teaches them that they are descendants of an evil people and that they are only capable of redemption by working to erase their own kind? There's a bunch more there, ladies and gentlemen. Acquire, go free, and start going free. Take this literally. Take this seriously. If you don't know where to begin with finding MPs, once you learn exactly what they are, go back to your old movies, go back to your old TV shows, put those on, get out a piece of paper and a clipboard, and begin writing down, consciously watching for the first time in your life. And if you're a non-white person and you're serving white well-being, you're here to be white positive with us, we bless you. Please do the same. Maybe you can tweet. Maybe you can gab. Maybe you can put it up on your YouTube channel or your Facebook and say, look, I watched this show today and I found all of these anti-white ideas and moral bedrock in the show. I didn't see anything that was anti-whatever your particular group is. We would say, and we certainly in service to white well-being here do say that what is being done to us, if done on any other group of people, would be absolutely wicked, and we wouldn't tolerate it one bit. We would not tolerate teaching non-white children that they are from a long history of evil people, and that the only way they can be moral and good and acceptable to us is if they are wiping out their own kind. Forget that. And the anti-white that you would have an argument with about these sorts of things, you know damn well and good they would say that that would be the cruelest child abuse to ever exist. And then they would immediately say in the very next breath, not demonstrating inconsistency, not demonstrating that they're hypocrites, but demonstrating that their objective is to inflict harm. In the very next breath, they would say, yes, but we need to do it to white children. Remember, you are white positive. You're an advocate for white well-being, or a well-being advocate. That is what you are. You are. Don't say, if you feel really strongly the need and you've become used to saying pro-white, every time you say it, just pause and say white positive. Pro-white has a completely different meaning in the mouths of the masses, and that is the language we have to speak with. White nationalist has always had a different meaning in the mouths of the masses. Definitely not for you, the good people who come to service to white well-being. But for those, I know for many of you, it just meant something about loving our people and etc. But for the people we have to reach, our brothers and sisters out there, white nationalist has always meant the same thing as Nazi and all the rest. So you are an advocate for white well-being. You are white positive. And if you're a non-white person and you tell the anti-whites, especially white anti-whites, that you're white positive, let us know how they melt down. Tell us about that deer in headlights look on their faces. Tell us about how the blood drains from their face when they hear you say that you are white positive.